I should know better. I'm a photographer. The light.
It's not better that way. It's okay. It's all good.
Hey, Joseph. So, a little treat for you, because here.
See who I recognize.
The one thing I wanted to ask was, this is a casual, but this is not an interview, but this is just a casual chat over a coffee. And I don't like eating on Periscope, so the camera's good angle. But coming to Hong Kong now with Periscope adds a different dynamic.
It is indeed. This is my third trip to. Guys, I apologize for my voice. Can you guys hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, thumbs up, a one, whatever.
His voice is leaving.
My voice is completely shot. And I like to talk. Okay, you can hear me. That's cool. Sorry, I apologize. Yes, my first two trips to Hong Kong, I didn't have Periscope.
Right.
And so I was kind of looking at Hong Kong just kind of through my own eyes and just kind of checking the place out. This time around with Periscope and 20,000 people watching or following anyway, subscribers, kind of like looking at it more in terms of educating myself about the place or whatever I'm going to scope. So I kind of, in a sense, learn more about the place to share with viewers. So I will scope and talk about, let's say, for example, I'm going to the Big Buddha. I learned something about the Big Buddha and I'm talking about it and showing it to people and so on. So it's like now I'm thinking about other people versus just myself. So,
what, you mean when you go to other locations?
Well, I mean, for example, I do this in Beijing all the time. My scopes are all about trying to educate people about people, places, and things, culture, right? And so just trying to educate them about the place. And when they come away from my scopes, they learn something. And breaking down some stereotypes about what they might think China is all about, for example. And so it's all about that. And that's what people appreciate. They tell me about my scopes. It's not lecturing, but rather educating, sharing stuff of that. God, when I got to China, I didn't know. And now I know it. And I'm like, okay, guys, did you guys know that the longest train ride in the world, the longest possible train ride in the world is between Beijing and Shenzhen? I mean, I don't know stuff like that unless I'm in China. And I just learned that. And I was on that train. I came by train on the longest train ride in the world.
How was it? How was that train? Because I'm thinking of traveling next year from Hong Kong to London by train. Oh, wow. Raya doesn't want to go with me, so it'll be me and John maybe for the China part.
That'd be awesome. I love train rides. I love trains.
Right.
It was great, and it's always been great, but we had a bit of a delay between Shenzhen and, but we had a bit of a 2-hour delay. Yeah, it was, that never happens. I didn't explain, and that was a little bit frustrating, but it's okay.
What was the quality of the train like?
Oh, it's amazing.
Did you pay like top dollar or
no.
economy or something?
So it's 3 classes. It's business class. Business is the top. It's super expensive, but it's luxury, man. You get this nice big seat. There's only 6 people in the car with you, and you're getting fed all day. If it's 8-hour train ride, all day they're bringing you stuff.
Perfect for overweight Americans then.
Yeah. And it reclines like a bed, and it's comfy. You got your own toilet. It's like the best. I've done that one.
How much was that?
That one is, I would say it's about almost like $400.
US,
one way. But it's nice. And then there's first class. So first class. So business class is the best. First class is the second best. And then you get mostly Chinese who are a little bit like maybe some business travelers, some people who are middle class and so on, and it's comfortable as well. And you also get fed mostly snacks, stuff like that all day. Drinks, coffee, that's included. Second class, you get none of that. You pay for it, and you got people sitting on your seats, sitting on your armchairs, standing. Yeah.
Okay, so it isn't. Rhea is really scared, and so she's just not having any of it. And I have kind of like a little bit of trust, but she's making it out like all the classes, no matter how much you pay, you're going to be with the serfs.
No.
It's an animal car.
No. China's rail. China knows how to do rail. yes, you'll get some bad behavior, even in first class sometimes because it's a person, right? I had one guy in first class. I had the window seat, and he decided that my window sill was going to be his resting place of his tea, his whatever. You know what I mean? I was like, well, this is my space here. You know, you have enough space over here. You keep reaching over me. I'm sleeping, and I feel an arm reaching up and put his tea, and I was like, why are you putting your tea? So you get stuff like that. Yeah, and he didn't care. He was waking me up every time he did that, reaching over me. You know. So it's just people, you know.
Right.
But for the most part, I didn't go second class, and I grew up became second class, and it's not that bad. There's no goats, no chickens, nothing like that. No. That's South America.
Did you travel separately then?
We came from Beijing.
Hey, Jeff Goldberg.
Hey Jeff, how are you, Jeff? Sorry, Jeff, I'm having a sick down there. No, she came from. Hey Jeff.
His voice is leaving him.
Jeff is gone. Yeah, my voice is gone. Yeah, she came from. We were in Beijing together. She wanted to see Shanghai while I was working, so she went to Shanghai, and we met up in Shenzhen.
Right.
So she went to Shanghai, and then Shenzhen, and I went Beijing, Shenzhen. We met up, and we came to Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we go back to Beijing tomorrow. Hey guys, hi everybody.
Jeff, Mike is teaching me about China. This underscores something that I've always said, like Hong Kong is not China. I always feel it is.
You say that a lot. Yeah.
I do say that a lot, and John Ho will disagree with me. But even just rail travel and talking about what the people's behaviour, it's already vastly different. These things don't happen in Hong Kong.
Well, the trains are different. You know, a lot of poor Chinese, because you have the G trains. The train that you want, G, remember G.
Right.
Because if you start taking D or Z, you're in trouble. That's what your girlfriend's afraid of. Those are the ones that are very slow trains, and you get really rural, poor folks that don't know trains, that don't know how to behave, basically, and they do bring their chickens.
Right.
So that doesn't happen on the high-speed trains on the G level.
Right. G for good.
G for good. Think of Great Britain. So, yeah. So that's kind of what you have to think. But if you start taking the 11-hour trains and 12-hour trains, which they do have, and the Z trains and the D trains, which my girlfriend did, you just start getting a little bit of more of the people who are kind of low class, also think it's okay to pee in the compartment, you know, and come here to Hong Kong and do that.
Yeah.
And they do it in China as well, in Beijing. So yeah.
Question: Is it expensive here?
In Hong Kong?
No, in this hotel.
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. This is a 5-star hotel, guys.
I didn't know this, and I just ordered breakfast, and it's 150 Hong Kong dollars.
But you see, when I travel, I know how to save money. I'm not paying 5-star money. I kind of have my little search engines going on and my little deal things. And I said, okay, what do you want today, Mike? What do you want to stay Kowloon? Want to stay Hong Kong? Do you want a 4-star, 5-star? And my engines go to work.
What's the price per night? Ben's asking.
Well, here, normal price for this hotel, it's at least $400-something a night, sometimes about $300. Well, it depends on the season. It changes. This is high season for Hong Kong right now because people are on holiday and all the Chinese and all people coming here. But I saw it was like $300-something for the rooms, but I'm not paying $300.
Right.
No way. That's crazy. I get really nice rooms for cheap. Well, relatively cheap. What I'm paying, you guys want to know what I'm paying? The rooms go for usually $300. I said, okay, I'm going to splurge and pay $100-something, and that's what I'm paying. But $100-something a night.
That's not bad considering, like, we have Matt Damon just over there and Bruce Lee. No.
And I walk out the hotel and all the hookers are outside. Did you know that?
I didn't know they were in East TS2.
Dude, at night, they look high class.
Well, I've never been to this part at night time.
No.
Hardly ever come here.
It's really interesting.
I'm only 15 minutes walk away.
Oh yeah. Every hotel along this area, they don't stand in very front of the hole. They're a little to the side.
Right, so it's not as obvious.
Yeah. And then come hello, and they say hello to you. But they're standing on like, what, hookers? They look like expensive ones.
Right, not the ones in my area. You've seen where I live.
I've seen the scopes in your apartment,
Yeah, I think next door there's a lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Just around the corner, and 2 blocks down, you can get a prostitute.
Really?
Yeah.
You can get them here too, but they look like they're more expensive.
Yeah, these are the quality ones.
So, yeah. So how's everybody doing? You guys have any questions? John Ho and I were talking about the differences between mainland China and Hong Kong. Have you been to mainland yet?
Never.
I haven't been.
So next year could be the year to do it.
Yeah, it's a world of difference, my friend. It's a world of difference. The minute I cross the border, you feel the difference. Is that stark? The people here seem to be a bit more classy, civil. However, I understand that there is some bad behavior here as well. Partly because it's because of Shenzhen, and partly because.
What's your favorite thing about China?
Oh my God, I love history, and I love being. The thing I love about Beijing is being able to get on a subway, and I'm at the Great Wall. You know.
What, you can get a subway to the Great Wall?
I can get no, not the subway. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I get on the subway. I get to the bus. 2 stops from me. A bus that takes me directly to my favorite
That's
part
why
of
you
the
scope
Great
it so often.
Yeah, it's
easy.
It's pretty easy. You don't need a tour guide. You rarely, if you come to China, Asia is a little scary to some people. They think Asia, I got to get somebody to chauffeur me around and all that. China is not as mysterious as some people make it. You need a tour guide into the Great Wall, you don't. And by all means, guys, please don't go to Badalin section of the Great Wall. Please.
Which section?
It's called Badalin. It's called the Badalin section. You're going to switch around.
Yeah, I'll make then it's better for us.
Oh, that's better. Lighting's better.
We have the same haircut, by the way.
Same barber.
Mike's boot scope was the funniest and people sleeping in Starbucks.
Oh, boot scope.
And someone else asked, can you get honest news in China? It's a very...
No.
What's honest, though?
Well, listen, I'm a journalist. I work for Chinese media. China Daily, all media in China is state-owned. And so it's censored. I'm in charge of the international pages. When I have a Chinese a partner, we work together on the page. And his job is to say, I don't think we can say that. I don't think this story is no good. And he has veto over what my decision.
Does it get annoying? Does it get annoying?
It's starting to get annoying, and I said it to him because he's on my side. He agrees that we should have this story in the paper, but he knows that his boss, because his bosses have veto power over him. And so there's this system in place to make sure that we don't piss off our allies, China's allies, like Russia, for example. We can't put any negative stories in the paper about Russia for a while. And the list is getting long. For a while, no gay stories. We were putting all the stories about gay this and gay that, transgender, no problem. And suddenly a new guy comes in. We can't mention gay people unless they're shot dead.
Wow.
So
what about puns? You know about they ban puns, don't you?
Dude, that was only for like 5 minutes. We knew they put these laws in place and they enforce it for like a week and they forget about it.
Right.
They put puns in the paper all the time.
but do you do the English language section?
It's only English.
Oh, okay.
It's an English language newspaper.
Right.
It's all English.
Right. And your boss is Chinese?
Yes.
Okay.
All the foreigners who work at the paper have a Chinese boss. So that's the way it works, you know. I have a Chinese boss, and so his job is to make sure that I'm not gonna have the embassy of Turkey or North Korea calling and saying, "What is this?" So, and it has happened.
Right. Okay.
Kim Jong-un will call and protest whatever we put in the paper. So we have to be careful. But it pays the bills. And I get a little pissed off about it because I told my colleague, we're running out of things to put in the paper because everything is prohibited.
You don't have an ethical problem with people not knowing the honest news?
You know what? The way I look at it, guys. I mean, seriously, I work for public relations as well. I look at it as not as a newspaper, but as a public relations piece. That's the way I look at it. It's the president's public relations rep. That's what it is. And that's kind of what I think. I don't work for a newspaper. I work for PR. That's what it is. And if you think about it that way, and if the person reading knows what they're getting, because you shouldn't get your news from one news source. That's the way kind of I look at it. So I don't have an ethical problem with it in that sense. It does have a lot of good stories in it, a lot of good features we put in it. So it's not all propaganda. There is a lot of that, but it's not all that propaganda. So it's called China Daily. It's one of the better ones. Global Times, get it? Those guys are radical. Those guys are crazy. So yeah, that's why I'm sure I have a contract to help them out along, because English is not their first language. So my job is to make sure the paper is in English when it comes out.
I don't think they can. LGBT stuff?
The what?
LGBT stuff?
Yes. We put.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. We were putting that in the paper, and a new guy. They rotate top bosses, and a new guy came in and suddenly take that story out, and we couldn't get any LGBT stuff under him. But his time is up, so now we're back in business.
Okay. Is that regular? You get this rotation of like higher ups?
Yeah, we have what we call a budget meeting, and the budget meeting is where we make the decisions as to what goes into the newspaper.
Right.
The budget meetings, and this guy, a particular person, editor, is in charge of the meeting. He runs the meeting, and then he decides, oh yeah, let's put this. I like this story. Maybe do this, do that. Dump that one, and so that rotates. That job. He's not the top guy. He's the guy in the meeting who has to respond to the top guys.
What does China think about gun control?
Well, I mean, China doesn't have a problem with guns. So most places in the world don't have a problem with guns. The U.S. has a problem with guns. They always talk about it and about why are there so many guns in the U.S. And that's the question I ask myself. They assume that we all have guns in the U.S. So yeah, they just wonder why do we have guns? Do people have guns? Second Amendment.
Thank you. The thing is, people can like take a dim view of China, but sometimes they do make valid points. Especially like they pointed out. I mean, and please correct me, but they pointed out how this whole thing with Trump and the whole Brexit thing, and they were pointing out that there's a flaw in democracy there. And one of their reasons for saying that were kind of like, it's a bit, come on, it's a bit, what's the word, fantasist? They will stand up and point the finger back, and I like that.
They do. They have white papers all the time. They run, but Chinese people in polls like Trump, and I understand why.
They like him.
They like him, even though he's talking about China this, China that. They like the authoritarian part of him, strong guy part of him. They grew up with that, and they like him. Even though he says China, he's always criticizing China. So I don't get it, but most people like him in China.
Yeah, but in a throwdown, why don't they like Clinton?
They like Trump. I think if you think about this. Kim Jong-un likes Trump. Putin likes Trump. Think about the people who like Trump. It's a lot of people who are in countries that are dictatorships and authoritarian. That's what they like. Chinese people complain. There was a crazy guy. There's a guy. I know we're not going to get into Trump. I'm sorry, Trump discussion. There's a guy who went nuts. China.
Everyone's reasonable here, so.
Okay. Chinese police don't carry guns. Only some of them carry guns when they have to respond to serious problems.
Oh, I didn't know that, because they carry guns here.
No, not in China.
Wow.
And so their last resort is to use a gun, the police. Absolutely last. Even after this nut went in the area where all the Lao Wai are. Lao Wai is a word, means foreigner in Chinese. If you hear Lao Wai in China, they're talking about you.
Right.
And so a nut with a sword, went chopping down, killing, chopping, like cutting up people in the middle of a busy shopping district. And he killed this woman and slashed her husband, French guy, killed a woman. And police surrounded him, not with guns, but with long batons, like drop the sword. In the U.S., they would have shot him on the spot.
Yeah.
On the spot. And you know what? Social media in China bitched about it. They said, why didn't they? If this was the U.S., that we should be more like the U.S. Shoot them.
So that's kind of sensible then. So why doesn't China have? Why do the Chinese not have policemen with guns?
They don't need it. There are no guns. There aren't guns on the streets of China. Right. They don't need it.
It's like the British. British police don't have guns.
They have
special.
Yes, they do special units. They do have guns when they need it. The people who have the guns are the military. By the way, people don't fear the police in China. By the way, they think. I mean, most Chinese will go up to the Chinese cop and start screaming at him, and they don't do that with the military. They respect. They don't. They would never in a million years go up to the military guy and start screaming at him.
Well, there's a lot of pro-propaganda for the military at the moment, isn't there? Like, there's a whole thing about women washing their clothes because the ones that the military is helping in the floods, the disaster. There's a big social media campaign that the women will wash their clothes and support their troops and stuff.
Those guys are respected. You see the PLA, they get respect.
Bowles was just saying that in Australia they just beat the shit out of you. They won't fire their weapons.
That's good.
I was going to say something before. One of the reasons why I like this being a private scope, they don't fear because their abuses aren't reported.
Sorry?
They don't fear because their abuses aren't reported.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, Chinese will tell you if you get arrested, because this guy with the sword again got arrested, and just 3 days ago I said, hey, I paid my colleague. I said, by the way, what happened to the guy who went on a rampage killing us with a sword? I never heard about a trial. And he said, that guy's probably been beaten up and thrown into the South China Sea, and he's probably got the death penalty quietly.
Oh, okay.
So stuff like that happens, or you fell off a building, They have their own justice, man.
Sometimes, though, I mean, everyone knows that China's larger than America, right? When it comes to square footage, if we're going to use imperial. But like only 1 or 2 stories ever seem to escape and get into the West, and then we sort of like use that to exemplify and say, oh, that's what China's all about. And yet, if you look at all the American incidences that happen, we get loads, and there's all sorts of, if you sit down and listen, there's all sorts of nuances and different things happening, and we get a better idea because Western media is very pervasive, whereas Chinese state media isn't. I mean, they limit it themselves, and then social media will also.
Well, there's no question that there is human rights problems in China. We know that, but they have a way of sort of keeping it quiet. That big explosion in Tianjin, for example. Well, you can scroll back.
Yeah, you can scroll back just a few.
In regular scopes, or just private?
In regular scopes, But you only get the first sentence. Will they beat them to death or beat them until they get under control?
They will beat them.
Will they beat them to death or beat them until they get under control?
Some people have been known to be beaten to death. Depends on what they do.
I've heard a few stories like that.
They say people end up in the police station and you never hear from them again.
Or they're not genuine cops. They're like whole block mall cops type of thing. They're in some sort of enforcer, aren't they?
Exactly. China has these guys roaming the streets. These crazies in the black uniforms are not cops. These are guys who are thugs, basically, in a uniform. And their job is to keep order on the street with the vendors, keep order on the streets, and not cops. But they're thugs. And those guys are like a gang. They're bad news. They're not bad news to foreigners, by the way, just Chinese. And they will come and confiscate stuff from the vendors and just go nuts. Those are the guys people don't like.
How long in custody can they keep them? Without charges?
Forever, I guess. I mean, they would say things like the guy escaped and he committed suicide. You hear that.
Right.
3 people involved in the explosion in Tianjin. I don't know if you remember that big explosion in Tianjin. and the 3 top people who were arrested and accused of, or at least 4 guys, I said he's responsible. One jumped off a building, one jumped off a balcony. They were suddenly jumping and killing themselves. I said, yeah, right.
I have a question for you, and it's appropriate that this is a private scope. But you're based in China, and sometimes I come into your scopes and I'm telling you something about Hong Kong and you don't know, and so I assume that your awareness, because your attention is on China, not America. Some people come into your scope and tell you something about America, and all of a sudden you might feel obligated to feel concerned. So like recently, because of the things happening in Munich and Nice, people come into my scopes and say, pray for Nice, pray for Munich. And because of social media, we get to know what's happening rather than what's happened. And there's this, you almost feel obligated, like you've got to be concerned with all these tragedies that are happening around the world. Do you feel that's fair? Because at the moment, if people say this in my scopes, I start to ignore them, because you can't process all these different things happening at the same time and then give your attention to it and have a comment about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm in China, and a lot of news I get from people on the scopes or on social media. Did you hear about? And I'm like, I don't know, because that stuff is censored in China. You get more news about China than I do, because when stuff happens in China, the government, and it's something the government wants to keep quiet, it's not in our papers, it's not anywhere. I have to go on Facebook, on Twitter, to get news about China. I mean, real what's happening in China on other sources, and so I don't get it. So sometimes people are breaking. Mike, what do you think about
New York?
So what do you think about the president saying so? So I said, really? He said that? I didn't know this, because that's not reported in China, certain things. So I appreciate it in a sense, because people are giving me news that I don't get. I need VPN. I have to connect my VPN to get that kind of a news.
But they're giving it to you for free, almost.
Yeah. I mean, did you know that there are people in China, adults in China, do not know that 1989 happened?
Yeah.
There are people today, university students, who don't know that Tiananmen Square happened, that Tank Man existed, and so on. And when I tell my friends, Chinese friends, I broke the news to my Chinese friends. We're sitting around having drinks. And I said, so what do you think about what happened with the uprising there, the democracy movement in 1989? He says, what are you talking about?
It's true.
He's like, what are you talking about? I said, and he says, no, that didn't happen. I said, yeah. Like, I showed him, and he said, oh my God, a Chinese guy. And he called his friends. No. And we shared that with them, and they couldn't get enough. They were going online and looking it up. Says, is this real? They didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
There are people today who don't know it ever happened.
I'll give your voice a break. I'll fill him in as well, because Mike's talking a lot, and I'm conscious of his voice. But no, there are literally like millions of people in China that just don't get the news about Tiananmen Square, and this is why Hong Kong and Macau and Taiwan will do it. The whole vigils every year to make a point that China shouldn't forget what they did, and they are kind of pissing China off by doing this. But then there's also the stories about how there are Chinese nationals, wealthy, who are emigrating to the UK, to America. That's what happens when news, it's censored with a C. And there's hundreds of thousands of people emigrating, and then I read a story that they just don't return. They just don't go back to China because they know what has happened over there, and they have a better life in the West. And they do fear that China's going to go through like a brain drain, because so many educated people and the wealthy who can afford to leave can stay abroad and have a second home and move their accounts offshore and stuff like that. I'm going to send you another movie, JK. Okay, cheers, Alan. Alan sends me movies, really good movies. Is China taking in Syrian immigrants? I don't think they are. No. The other thing that I wanted to expand on, sorry, I'm making it deep. You're a journalist, I'm a journalist. I need to pick your brain on these things, but also with the whole thing about Nice and Munich, but then there's things that happen in America that are race related. Do you feel obligated again that you have to, because like if a white person dies anywhere in the world, no one comes up to me and says, did you hear about that white guy who died?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
But at some point, there are billions of black people it's not like you. Do you feel obligated? You have to take into account every single black there.
Well, I don't feel obligated. I think what happens is my viewers, they want to know the minute, because some of my new viewers, I get new viewers all the time, and I'm in China, and for some reason they assume I'm something else, and then I show myself, and they go, oh my God, you're black. I was like, yeah. My profile picture is right there for you all to see. And then the questions come: how they treat you? How they treating you in China? Those questions come up from black people in the U.S., from white people, from all kinds of people. How are they treating you because you're black? It's kind of weird because you would think they would ask a white guy how they're treating you in Hong Kong or in China.
Oh, they do. They do.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get that question a lot. Are they racist? And this, listen, there's racism everywhere. But I have not found the level of racism in China is so ridiculously low. I had found more racism, sorry John, in the EU, in Europe.
I'm not tribalistic. It's fine. You can...
I found more racism in Europe, in America, in Western countries than I have found in Beijing.
Right.
Because I'm a foreigner. Even though I'm a black foreigner, you're a foreigner. You step foot in China, mainland, and they treat you like you're some sort of celebrity. And it gets a little bit annoying because the whole photo, can we get every step you take? Can I get a photo? Can I get a photo? You know, I don't know what they're doing with these pictures. Heaven knows. But they're putting it on Weibo or whatever, their Facebook version. But that's how you get treated. They want to get pictures of you. They want to talk to you. They want to. All you have to say, ni hao, communicate that one word. They smile and they want to talk. So welcoming to people. So welcoming. I go to the U.S. for a day, and I have people following me around the stores, and I see the racism. You know what I mean? The only racism I get are from, I'm sorry, white folks who are in China, because they remind me that I'm black. And what I mean by that is that in America, a lot of white women see a black guy, and it doesn't matter how you're dressed, how you might suit and tie, and my respectable job, and for some reason it reminds them, here comes a black guy, where's my purse? You know,
damn.
Clutch the purse. That's what I get in Beijing, only from white women, never from Chinese women, never. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're the ones who remind me that I'm black. You know? So that's where the racism comes from.
Did they still try and rip you off?
Oh yeah. Of course. Vendors will try to get money out. Not all of them, but for the most part, they think you're foreign or you're rich. You know.
Does Mike fear losing his job because he cheats with the VPN?
No. Every Chinese person that works with me has VPN. They all have it.
Do you know the website africansinchina.net?
No, I do not know it.
No, I promote it on my scopes almost every day because I get a lot of questions like, are there black people in Hong Kong, or are there black people in China? And I can't comment on what China's doing, right? So I'll just say, go to this website. But nearly every week you'll get somebody asking, where are the black people? And then I have to point out that there are black people here, but they're probably more than likely over there, unless, meaning Hong Kong Island, by the way, or they're Africans who are living in the TST area. Have you been to TST? Have you seen how multicultural it is?
No, not yet. But just across the border, there are Africans there.
Yeah, little Africa town.
Yeah.
But it's dying.
Is it?
Yeah, they've cut down on knockoffs, and all the Africans that were producing them are starting to leave now. In droves. That's what Africans in China is talking about. Have you been to the DMZ?
I was in the military. I was there. I was in the army. So we went for some training in South Korea for a long time. But that was a long time ago. Things are a little bit different.
Alan, from what I've been reading, China is investing in Africa, yes, and they want exports. They want to export materials from China, but it seems like they don't want African people to be in China.
China has a lot of links, business ties, and interest in Africa because of the minerals and all that. They do have a lot of interest in it, and they claim to welcome Africans. It's because I live near a university, and there's quite a few African students there at the economic university. So,
My friend in Guangzhou married a guy from Cameroon.
Yeah, my friend, one of my good friends in Beijing is from Cameroon. His uncle is the ambassador from Cameroon in Beijing. And so he's kind of well connected, this guy. So yeah, but there are Africans and black people all over Beijing. So
There's a lot of Chinese in Africa now as well, by the way, just so you know it.
Yeah.
Do Chinese media talk about the South China Sea thing?
Oh God, ad nauseum.
And Stacey, I saw your question, I forgot it already. But wait, don't type it, I'll click back to that. Why did you choose to live there? Yeah.
Well, I've been traveling. My story is that I've been traveling around the world. I've been traveling all my life, and I chose a job that I chose jobs throughout my life that allowed me to travel. But my last job was as a foreign correspondent, the Miami Herald, covering Latin America. So I traveled quite a bit with that. And then I quit the company, and I decided to go travel really my way, full time. And I had a little money in the bank. I didn't have to work for a while. I started doing some volunteer work. And I started doing a lot of traveling, and my mode of travel now is I work, and I pick a country, Portugal, let's say. I work, make some money, move on, and travel, work, travel, work in different countries. And that's how I've been getting around. And so China came up. A friend of mine contacted me on Facebook and said, hey, there's a job at the China Daily. Are you interested? I was on a nice, beautiful Portuguese beach. I said, hell no. You know, why would I want to go to China? On this beautiful beach in Portugal. And the email popped up again, and I started reading the job description. I said, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Free apartment, free utilities, free health, free everything, great salary, you know, free meals. You know, so why not? Go for 1 year. I get to see China and the region, and then I move on. So that's why I'm here. And I actually renewed my contract, and this is my second year. This is it. I'm moving on. It's time to move on.
Okay.
So that's why I'm in China.
Well, you felt like it's a natural sort of moving on, or you feel forced?
I feel that I need freedom.
Okay.
I grew up with freedom, and I feel the longer you stay in China, the more you feel it. This nonsense about censoring the web, it's so slow, and it's so, the VPN is just a pain. I come over the border and the internet works.
Blossoms, isn't it?
And you can't say certain things. I just need the freedom.
What did your friend in Cameroon do? Alan was asking.
He is finishing up a master's in university. And he's going to be doing business with his parents and his family are well off. And I don't think he really has to work.
Okay. Well, how much time have you got? I'm conscious of your time.
Oh, my girlfriend's still sleeping.
Okay, you had a late night?
Yeah, we were up late, and then we were talking to John.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, we want to get going to the Buddha. So we got like maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I'll
That's
go up
fine.
and say hello to her. And then we'll get about 10 minutes. So, give or take. Buddha opens at 10, I believe. Right?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how long it takes to get there exactly. We're going to take subway up to the cable car.
Okay. Why Big Buddha? It's a very touristy place. You never get annoyed with tourists? I do. Come on.
I'm a tourist too, and yes, I do. But people keep mentioning it to me.
It's in the scope title.
People keep mentioning it to me. Oh, have you gone to the Great Buddha? You should go to the Great Buddha. I said no. So I said, okay, this time around, I'll go to the Great Buddha. You don't think I should go? It's not worth it?
No. If you've never been, then sure, go one time. But I expected something more cultural. And when you get there, it's a big cast iron Buddha with shops inside. And there's a walk, and you go through a fake village, and it's all shops.
Really?
So it's very market driven, and kind of lost some of its charm for me. It's nice to look at in the pictures from a distance. It does look grand.
Okay.
But it's best to don't let him down. But it's best to watch it from afar because it just looks magnificent. The statue, from afar, great. On top of a peak, great. But when you get close, there's a subway and coffee shops. And it's just like,
really? Yeah, I think it'd be touristy, but I had a friend, he was really selling it. Oh man, you must go to the Big Buddha.
One of the problems that Hong Kong is having is that the whole city is sort of designed to be a tourist city. And so for tourists, it's great. You've got the Big Buddha, Disneyland, Ocean Park, all the islands, all the junks and everything. But if you're a resident and you say, what do you want to do? If you haven't got kids, what can you do? It's like, oh yeah, what can we do? There's very little to do as a local. Just
but to be honest with you, if my girlfriend wasn't interested in going, I probably would not go because I read up a little bit more about it, and I was like, do I really want to go deal with that? Go cable car, get up there. I don't know.
Cable car is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the cable car part, but I mean, it sounds to me very touristy, you're right? But to me, I've had so many people. Hey, have you seen the big booth? Because I don't know, it's like it's this huge booth. I said, I gotta go see this. Okay, I'll go see it.
There's never do tourist things. That's what the locals do. I'm starting a project. I'm already going through it on Periscope, but I want to create sort of content that has like a narrative structure, or there's like you can watch it in episodes. And I'm creating a series, and I'm finding things on the MTR line. So my first series is on this line here, the Island line, and I'm making like a short trailer to promote it on Twitter. But what I want to do is go to Taiwan. Like for me as well, I've never been to these places, or I've hardly ever, I have a surface level of knowledge, but I have like this OCD nature where I'm sitting down, I'm going to systematically go through each MTR station and illustrate what are these districts like, who lives there, what food is there, what is there to do, and build up like a compilation and then edit it down. So then hopefully the idea is, even if you did come to Hong Kong, what did you miss? What do you think you could have done? The city moves so fast, and it's more than just Big Buddha and Disneyland.
That'd be awesome.
Because sometimes I think they get too much exposure.
Yeah, exactly. I try to do that with my blog, to tell people these cool things to do. For example, I go back to the Great Wall. Everybody who comes, they think they have to get a tour guide, and the tour guide takes them to Badalin because it's there, it's close, it's 40 minutes away, probably 40 minutes away from Beijing center. But it's a nightmare of just wall-to-wall people with selfie sticks, and you don't see the wall. That's all you see. It's selfie sticks, and it's a disappointment to people. So in my blog, I get step-by-step the instructions how you can get to the Great Wall, and you'll be alone in some parts of the Great Wall. There's no people. It's just you and the birds. You hear nature.
What's your blog?
It's called mytenstotravel.com.
Oh, okay.
It's in my profile. You just click on the link on Periscope.
Okay.
But it's mytenstotravel.com. Just step by step, and you'll be at Jinshanling Great Wall. Amazing part of the wall. And I'm going to an even more wilder, that's what Chinese call a wild wall, part of the Great Wall, in 2 weeks. Because some friends are coming, and we're going to go to this really remote part of the wall that you can get to as well within 2 hours.
Right.
And boom, you're there, and there are no selfies. There's no people with selfie sticks poking you in jostling for position, and tour guides with the umbrellas and the flags and the hats, stupid hats.
Yeah, avoid it all. Right, we're gonna wrap it up. Mike has to go very soon. Okay, so thank you for watching.
If you want to do a regular, just to say hi to the people that were here, you can do that too in about 5 minutes maybe. If you want to do it. Non-private, you can do that.
Okay, sure.
I'm down for that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do another 5 minutes, just a quick hello as a public scope. Okay? Alright. I'll see you on the other side. I actually want to speak to Mike about something first, off scope, and then we'll do a quick 5 minute. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.
Peace.